Good morning, friends. This video is meant for everybody. I'm going to talk about competency based studies, how to develop skills among the children regarding competency based knowledge and skill. Friends, often we find that in all the competitive exams, particularly NEET and JEE, the questions pattern really aims at testing the competency of the students. That means the examination pattern had changed from cognitive testing to competency testing. So what is competency testing? That is the question. Competency testing aims at exploring the child's concept and application to the concept. Most of the scientific temperament or most of the scientific studies or most of the logical studies demands the conceptual learning, and conceptual learning particularly is defined learning of the concept and application of the things that the children learn in the different subject matters. For instance, if a student is studying physics and if he has mastered the concept of all the chapters, then he must be or he or she must be able to solve questions related to the application of that concept, particularly which is based on case study or based on situations or based on conditions. So the questions nowadays asked in the competitive examinations, 50% of the questions are competency based, which test not only the skill and application of the child, the application aspect of the child, or whether the child has been able to apply the concept in the real life situation or not, or whether the child is capable of integrating his concept to the problem solving or not. That is what competency based knowledge is. The child must be capable of integrating his conceptual learning to problem solving, and once he starts doing that, that means the child has developed the competency. And that is what most of the competitive exams nowadays explore to find out, while setting questions for JEE, IIT, and main and advanced exams. Particularly, the aim of recruiting the students for admission for higher studies in technical and non-technical courses requires the child's conceptual learning and the application of the concept in the real life situation. So how to nurture the how to develop among the children right from the beginning, it is very important that right from the primary and upper primary classes, the parents and the teacher must assess and evaluate the child's scientific temperament and develop in the child logical thinking and problem solving attitude. They should be given situations from the real life to integrate the conceptual learning of the subject content and apply it to solve the problems. Critical thinking and creative thinking are also part of competency based education. So now the CBSE has, reshuffled or changed the concept of exams, particularly for class 11 and 12, aiming at evaluating the child's ability and capability to have competency in education, particularly to know how to apply the conceptual knowledge to problem solving. So most of the questions are application questions rather than knowledge oriented question. Now knowledge oriented question has reduced to 30%, whereas the competency based questions has gone up to 50%, and only 20% questions comes just as short and long answer questions, which are just elementary testing knowledge. So in order to develop the competency of the child right from the beginning, the parents, the teacher must nurture logical and scientific learning, particularly to develop the scientific temperament, to know why and how it can happen. So the questions with why and questions based on situations and case study, particularly when a case is given, a particular case is given from a real life situation, and integrate the concept to that case and solve the problem. This will really help the child develop scientific temperament and also develop competency in education. And once the child has a competency to apply the conceptual knowledge to problem solving and critical thinking, the child is able to qualify in any competitive exams with a higher rank. And that is what the present education system demands, and that's what I wanted to emphasize upon. Thank you. Have a nice morning.